Investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Gang violence was orchestrated by...
Did you hear about Lil Baby being mentioned by the Atlanta Police Department in a recent case? During a press conference on Wednesday, February 26, the police said that his actions played a role in the deaths of 2 young men last summer. The police shared that they have arrested 7 people in connection to the deaths of Jacob Davis and Lemon Freeman. Major Ralph explained that these events were part of a gang war that became worse after a shooting at Lil Baby's music video last May. That shooting left 3 people injured, and now the police are saying it was the event that started a deadly chain of violence. Then injured at the scene, while strongly saying the team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable, referring to Lil Baby. The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang ultimately took his life. Gang was orchestrated by adults in our city, and cowardly acts cowardly. In the heart of Atlanta, a rapper made a decision that many would consider extremely risky. He decided to enter a rival gang stronghold to film a music video, even though he knew full well that he should not have been there. This move was not only dangerous but also carried the potential to ignite conflicts that could have lasting consequences. The rapper was fully aware of the risks, yet he went ahead with the plan, determined to create something provocative and memorable. Shortly after these events unfolded, the police released a statement that sent shockwaves through the community. They announced that the deaths of 2 young children had occurred because of someone's cowardly actions. The police made it very clear that they knew who was responsible, and they promised to work day and night to ensure that the person, as well as anyone connected to them, would be held fully accountable. This declaration struck a deep chord with the public, reminding everyone that actions in these dangerous environments have serious consequences. As more details emerged, Lil Baby's name became linked to the unfolding case.
Whole Pockets 4 had to come to an end. You know what I'm saying?
When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on. And I had to start learning that, like, other people's actions.
His involvement, whether direct or indirect, began to answer one of the big questions that people in the rap world had been asking for some time. Many wondered why Lil Baby had suddenly shut down his record label, 4PF. It turned out that this decision was not random. Right after the release of his new album, Wham!, news outlets began reporting on the situation, and more questions started to surface about what had really happened behind the scenes. Lil Baby released his album Wham! In a very short period of time. The release was rushed because he was facing a looming legal battle that was threatening to disrupt his career. The first clear sign that trouble was on the horizon was his decision to close down 4PF. In later interviews, he explained the reasoning behind this difficult choice. He stated that he had to shut down his record label to prevent people from labeling it as a street gang. He said, "First, 4PF had to come to an end, you know what I am saying." This statement made it apparent that he wanted to distance himself from any associations that could bring more trouble his way. His decision was a clear attempt to steer clear of complications before things could escalate further. The shutdown of 4PF sent ripples through the industry. Fans and critics alike began to analyze every detail, trying to understand the full extent of the situation. Some people argued that Lil Baby was forced to make these tough decisions because the legal pressures were too intense to ignore. Others felt that his actions were calculated moves in a larger game, intended to protect his future and his career. With the police investigation intensifying, many began to wonder if his choices were a sign of a greater strategy to avoid long-term damage. The dangerous act of entering a rival gang territory for a music video shoot was symbolic of the high-risk life that many rappers lead. It served as a reminder that in the world of rap, every decision carries a heavy weight, and sometimes, the consequences are unpredictable and severe. This particular incident not only heightened tensions between rival factions but also brought unwanted attention from law enforcement. The tragic loss of 2 young lives made it all the more clear that the stakes were higher than anyone had ever imagined. The police investigation into the deaths of these 2 children was thorough and relentless. Law enforcement officials promised that they would pursue justice with all the resources at their disposal. Their commitment to working day and night to hold the
call the number for me. Hey, security, the black guy. Call the number for me. Locking me up for a but I got license. Security. I give you 200 bands a year.
Responsible party accountable was a message that resonated deeply within the community. It was a solemn reminder that in this dangerous environment, no one was above the law. The loss of innocent lives was a painful tragedy that underscored the real dangers of the lifestyle that some of these individuals led. As the investigation continued, the focus on Lil Baby grew even stronger. With his album release and the subsequent shutdown of 4PF, Many began to wonder if these moves were directly linked to the legal issues that were emerging. The timing of the events left little doubt that there was a connection. Fans and industry insiders started to question whether Lil Baby had been forced into making these decisions, and if he was trying to protect himself from a legal storm that was fast approaching. This situation has become a turning point not only for Lil Baby but for the entire rap community. It has raised important questions about the risks associated with the lifestyle that many artists choose to lead. The legal battles, the dangerous affiliations, and the high-stakes decisions are all part of a complex web that can have serious consequences. In Lil Baby's case, the shutdown of 4PF was an attempt to take control of his destiny, to prevent his record label from being misinterpreted as a criminal organization, and to avoid further legal complications. For many fans, this narrative is both a cautionary tale and a reminder of the harsh realities that exist behind the glitz and glamour of the music industry. The story of Lil Baby, the release of Wham, and the subsequent legal challenges are all part of a larger picture that illustrates the dangers inherent in a life lived on the edge. It is a tale of ambition, risk, and the constant battle to stay out of trouble when the odds are stacked against you. As the legal battle unfolds and the investigation deepens, it remains uncertain what the future holds for Lil Baby and those around him. The decisions that have been made in the past few weeks are only the beginning of what could be a long and arduous journey. Every action has its consequence, and every choice carries the potential to change the course of one's life. The events in Atlanta serve as a stark reminder that in the world of rap, there is no room for error, and even the smallest misstep can lead to devastating results. In the end, the story of Lil Baby and the events surrounding his album release and the shutdown of 4PF are emblematic of the larger struggles faced by many in the music industry. It is a story of trying to balance creativity with caution, ambition with reality, and fame with the relentless scrutiny of
When
the...
Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug, she got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were going to get...
The narrative continues to evolve, and as new details emerge, it will undoubtedly become a key chapter in the history of Atlanta rap. The community remains watchful, hopeful that justice will prevail and that those responsible for the tragic loss of innocent lives will be held accountable. Lil Baby said he never planned to take that path, but at the time, he did not know any better. Now that he understands the situation, he knows it would not be smart to keep things the same. He explained that people are trying to turn something into what it is not, and since he has control over it, he decided to change everything. He made it clear that it is not just about the police, it is about the bigger picture. I never should have made my label into something that I talk about. He said that it is clear that Lil Baby is now doing everything he can to cut any ties that could bring trouble his way. Some people connected to 4PF may have been involved in the tragic deaths of these two young individuals. The authorities have already warned the public about Lil Baby's possible ties to several crimes in Atlanta. In recent months, there have already been 2 major cases involving rappers, and in the next 60 days, there are expected to be at least 2 more. DJ Academics even spoke about the legal trap that Atlanta District Attorney Fonnie Willis has been setting for rappers in the city. Just a week after she made her announcement, Lil Baby was arrested, adding even more fuel to the situation. Would-be announced Lil Baby was arrested on Monday for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit, and he was sent to the Clark County Detention Center where he was held on a $5,000 bail. I need 20B, call his number for me, a security black, call the number for me, locking me up more, but I got licensed security. I make 200 bands a year, I swear to God. Security, security. I pay you 200 bands a year, and you do not even make that much here. LJ, my jet leaves at 9. Make sure to check me properly. I have all my stuff, check me on camera. I have my check, I have everything.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you open up these windows, they tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me rap.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They can...
You'll let me that many saw it as a warning from the Atlanta DA Fonnie Willis, as Lil Baby just so happened to get arrested a week later. However, it gets a lot deeper than this, and allow me to explain. Just 8 months ago, DJ Academics revealed on stream while showing the literal evidence file of 4PF on the same RICO document that YSL and Young Thug was on. I've heard 2 of them, like I've heard the 2 of them. They're like, yo, these are getting going first, then these are going first. I've heard the names, and I do not know if I should say this, but let me make it clear, I have nothing to do with any investigation, nothing at all. But these are big names in the rap game. One of them is a top rapper, and the other one, well, I will not say any names, but I will just say this, I think you already know who I am talking about. They are in Atlanta, their name has 3 letters, and they have been one of the biggest rappers in the game. I would even say they are in the top 3 right now. Now that the YSL case is over, DJ Academics has finally been able to speak on everything. With Lil Baby's recent arrest, it is starting to look like he could be facing a serious warning, a possible RICO charge coming his way. Going to tell you some things that you're going to have to take my word or don't believe it, it's fine, I don't care either war. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Doug, she got YFN, so she got YSL-YN eventually. In recent times, law enforcement agencies have made decisions that have caused quite a stir in the rap community. The federal authorities made it clear that they would not push charges in certain cases, and this decision has had far-reaching consequences. According to reports, the feds basically told the involved parties, "It is okay, we got it," and allowed the charges to go. They did not pursue the case against Dirk too aggressively, especially after what happened with Von, and as a result, that case was dropped. However, the federal authorities have made one thing clear: they will eventually take action against Dirk. This situation is still unresolved, and many are watching closely to see what will happen next. This decision by the authorities has had a noticeable impact on many artists. If one looks at the situation carefully, it is easy to see why Lil Baby has been moving differently. Unlike many other artists, Lil Baby has not been under federal watch. Instead, he has been monitored by county and state law enforcement. The warning signs have been present all along, and these pressures have led him to change his approach in order to avoid further legal troubles. One of the most important questions that fans and critics have been asking is why Lil Baby decided to shut down his record label, 4PF. The answer to this question has now become clearer. Shortly after he released his album Wham!, news outlets began reporting on the legal challenges he was facing. The decision to shut down 4PF was not made lightly. Many people believe that the shutdown was a strategic move to avoid further scrutiny by the authorities. There were even rumors that the authorities were going to target 4PF, and this was one of the reasons why members of the group changed their names. According to what has been heard, the feds had told them that they were going to get to 4PF eventually. This warning forced the members to reconsider their actions and take steps to protect themselves from potential legal consequences. The situation becomes even more complicated when one considers the developments surrounding the YSL RICO trial. If you are a Lil Baby fan, you should know that just 2 weeks into the trial, his best friend Gunna accepted a plea deal and walked away from the case, leaving Young Thug to face the consequences alone. In court, Gunna admitted that he had personal knowledge of crimes committed by members or associates of YSL. He also confirmed that he was in a car with Young Thug when the police stopped the vehicle and discovered illegal items inside. Gunna made it very clear that those items did not belong to him, and this revelation only worsened the situation for Young Thug. Now that the YSL case is drawing to a close, many believe that Lil Baby might be the next target. The evidence suggests that the authorities are watching him very closely. The pressure on Lil Baby has increased, and his recent actions appear to be a direct response to mounting legal challenges. His decision to shut down 4PF was a clear signal that he wanted to distance himself from any associations that could lead to further complications. With the warning signs having been there all along, it seems that Lil Baby is trying to protect himself before more serious problems arise. In addition to these developments, there is another interesting piece of information. Many believe that the authorities were planning to target 4PF, and this very plan was one of the reasons that members of the group chose to change their names. This move was done in an effort to avoid drawing attention and to protect themselves from the legal heat that was expected to come their way. It is clear that the environment in Atlanta is one of high tension, where every move is monitored and every decision is scrutinized by the law. The situation in Atlanta continues to be tense, and the decisions made by the authorities have had a profound impact on the rap industry. The federal authorities are known for being very strategic in their approach, and every move made by high-profile artists is carefully observed. Soon pulled him over and arrested him for having illegal window tint. Many online commenters suggested that Lil Baby may have been targeted and treated unfairly because of the color of his skin. Others believed that this could have been a setup by one of Fonnie Willis's officers to send him to jail. Thankfully, Lil Baby did not waste any time. He arranged for his lawyer to fly in on a private jet, and he was bailed out on the same night. With all of the recent arrests, many people are now wondering if Lil Baby might be next. Feels like he's being targeted, likely from a former best friend who gave up information. This is why even when Young Thug was released from jail, he also went right after Gunna, and a Thug tweeted, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats," with the name Wham referring to Lil Baby, who's been firm on dissing Gunna the entire ISO trial, as Lil Baby responded to Young Thug on Instagram saying we should. The following day later, Thug followed it up with another tweet. First saying, "Gunna, stop acting like we're friends." This post caught the attention of Gunna and his brother, who replied that they agree and feel the same way. Later that night, Young Thug shared an Instagram story. In the story, he clearly said that he was home and that he had done everything the right way. He subtly dissed Gunna by saying, "Hey man, what do you have to say to the people? Let us be honest, there is no exaggeration in my words. I am doing things correctly. It is time to do things the right way, my brother. Do you understand? What I'm saying right way, yeah, that way, yeah, and go tell that, letting G to know and emphasizing that he did it the right way out. I even took his side, but there's one serious issue with sneak dissing Gunna, as pointed out by DJ Academics. The feds, they are one step ahead. They predicted all of this happening, which is why they gave him a plea deal out of prison. It would be announced. Academic speaks on Young Thug getting released. He says the stipulations are set up for the court to try to put Young Thug back into jail. Many people believe that this situation is designed as a trap so that Young Thug will eventually fail and face a 20-year prison sentence. They also think that Lil Baby is expected to support Young Thug in his conflict with Gunna. The Atlanta district attorney might plan to take both of them down at the same time. Some fans claim that Young Thug won his case, but winning a case means that there are no conditions attached. In reality, his so-called victory is only on paper because he is now on probation. This arrangement is not a true win. It simply shows that the authorities are keeping a close watch on him. 15 years can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe his activity is always going to talk about him and his doing his thing. They might consider that he might be like, why we going to the park, get lit, we going to the club, getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you told about to, so you know we celebrating right now, because I think we could all see if you follow that trial at all, whether you are a fan of Young Thug or not, you can clearly see the pain that he is going through. He has gained a lot of weight, and everyone knows that he does not look the same as he used to. We are happy that he was released, but we must remain very aware of how the situation will develop. The situation is becoming confusing. Lil Baby is very upset about what has happened because it has angered Young Thug's father. His father told Lil Baby to remain silent and to stop insulting Gunna. What do you think about Lil Baby criticizing Gunna for accepting his plea deal? He really needs to stop, because his actions are only causing more problems. Don't know what's going on, his is going off of what he heard when Help Y'all went to a court date to support Sline, to support Jeffrey, to support Thug, who, however you want to name it. However, Young Thug's father would not end there. He would end up revealing this about Gunna and how it has nothing to do with Young Thug or Little Baby. Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna? I love Gunna. See, that's the thing, people don't understand the relationship they got. This thing saying. Some people claim that Gunna is a traitor and that he has done many questionable things. However, let me try to explain this in simple terms. Gunna has not done anything that could harm our case. According to Young Thug's father, Gunna's plea deal did not affect either Young Thug or Lil Baby. However, many rappers in the industry have different opinions. For example, 69ine was recently seen joining a Clubhouse call with Wack 100, and he explained that the situation for both Young Thug and Lil Baby is now very difficult. Due to a Gunna did, and he couldn't even be more spot on since this call has been arrested 3 times, as well as now being tied up in a case with 2 people passing away, so me pleading guilty is only making it worse for my minutes. I'm saying I was there, yes I did it, I plead guilty, I am guilty, I am guilty. Anything you said in that courtroom is going to be used against your man, my man. That is over. He just implicated YSL being so now home, right? All the people who's locked up like Jeffrey, like Young Thug. Now he can't go with that defense, he can't go with the defense of saying I'm a rec label.